Welcome to Jim's Bar and Pigshack.
Everybody, this is Jim from Jim's Bar and Pigshack, and today we're going to be smoking some salmon. We've got 3 beautiful sockeye salmon fillets here today, and I'm going to show you my dry rub and my smoking technique. So first off, what I do is I take the fillets and I feel down them to make sure I've got all the pin bones out. Once that's done, I set them inside a nice tray, and on this tray what I've done is I actually have already coated the bottom of this tray with just coarse kosher salt, and I'm doing that because the skin is on these fillets. These are skin on fillets, so by doing that I'm going to get just a little bit more texture out of these. So anyway, I'll put those in there. We got one more fillet that'll go on top. And then what I do is I take my dry rub. Now my dry rub is 4 parts of dark brown sugar to 2 parts of coarse kosher salt. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in the brine, and I'm going to leave them in the brine for about 24 hours. And it's very simple. We're just going to take the brine and we're going to put it over the fish. We want to coat everything really liberally. We want everything coated. We want to take as much moisture out of this as we can so that we have an amazing finished product. And again, we're just going to go over places where it's a little thin. Just like that. We're going to take more of this in the center because we're going to put this other fillet right down the center, and we want as much coverage as we can get. So this one we're going to place the other direction. It's going to go flesh side down with the skin up. And then we'll take the balance of this and we're going to coat everything here with it. And because I'm skin side up here, I don't mind if I put a little extra salt on the top here just to get this nice and covered. Now this, as I said, will sit in it'll sit in the refrigerator for the next 24 hours covered in the brine, and when we come back you'll see that this is beautifully brined. It'll be much harder. Most of the moisture will be off the fish. We're going to take the moisture content way down, and at which point we then let the fish sit for 4 to 6 hours to form what's known as a pellicle. It's a protein layer that's very sticky and tacky on top. That's actually what the smoke will stick to. And then from there what we're going to do is we're going to smoke it over alder wood smoke. I'll be smoking it in my electric smoker. I don't use anything other than in the electric smoker other than the heating element. I'll be using a pellet tray. I'll be using a pellet tray with alder wood pellets, and I'll smoke it for probably 5 or 6 hours. But we're not going to smoke it at a very high temperature. It's going to be smoked just around 160 degrees. Now, normally I would be concerned about getting this through the danger zone for food safety, which is between 40 degrees and 140, but because it's already going to be brined and cured, I don't have that same worry. Because of the lack of moisture inside, it's very difficult for any bacteria to grow, and through the process we will bring the internal flesh temperature up to about 160 degrees, so we'll be fine. But normally, if I'm hot smoking something or if something isn't cured, what I need to do is I want to get it through the danger zone between 40 degrees and 140 degrees during a 4-hour period. This won't quite do that, but because of the brine, will be fine. So anyway, I'll be back the next time, and we'll be taking a look at what these look like, getting them ready to go into the smoker. Then we'll put them in the smoker, let them go, and at the end we will vacuum seal them, and they're just going to be amazing. The nice part about it is this is the simplest and easiest way to make smoked salmon, and it will create just a wonderful, wonderful salmon. Anyway, I'll catch you back in a bit. See you later. Okay, well, here we are 24 hours later. The salmon has been sitting in the brine mixture, the dry brine, for the last 24 hours. And as you can see, all the liquid that has come out of these fillets. So now we're going to take them out, we're going to rinse them off, and then what we'll do from there is put them on another rack. That rack will go and sit in the refrigerator for the next 6 or so hours just to form the pellicle, which is that tacky outside layer. And once they're there, they'll dry out a little bit more, and then we'll put them on the smoker. These are some beautiful looking salmon fillets. These have just come out of the brine. They're going to go now and sit for the next 6 hours. I'm going to put them in the refrigerator. I like the way that it does, that it kind of dries them out just a little bit more on the surface, and it will form that sticky outer layer that we're looking for. And as soon as that's complete, then they go into the smoke. We'll smoke them over alder wood, and they're going to be in there probably somewhere for the next 6 hours after we get the pellicle formed. So that's the next step, and I will join you back later this afternoon when we get ready to put these into the smoker. Okay, now we're going to get ready to light our chip tray. And really all we're going to do is let this sit here until we get a nice little bit of fire going, and then we will blow it out and let it just generate smoke. As you can see, we've got the smoker going. Just to give you guys a quick look in here. That's the chip tray down in here, working away. We've got 2 fillets on one rack and one on the top rack. And look at those things. Those are just amazing. Those are going to be fantastic for some smoked salmon. So this will go, like I said, for about 6 hours, and then we will be back to pull them out and vacuum seal them, and they'll be ready to go. Just wanted to take a second and show everybody that we're just about, it looks like we're about 2 hours in. They're all looking great, so we're still keeping going. So we probably have another 4 hours to go, but man, they're coming along and they smell fantastic with that alder smoke. Alright, I'll be back in a bit. I suppose I should give you a little bit of a background here. This is my caged injector. It's an electric smoker. I don't actually burn chips in its burn tray. I just use pellets in the little pellet tray that I carry. In there, I just use the electric heating element. And actually, the only thing I ever really smoke in this is fish. So it's pretty much all it's ever been used for is fish. It just has a really holds a really good temperature. So that's wonderful. But it's It has been a workhorse for fish smoking for me. I generally run this, probably a couple of times a month smoking fish, but as an electric, it does a great job. Everything else for me is a stick burner, but in the case of fish, where I want to precisely control the temperature, this seems to do just an amazing job with that little amazing N pellet burner in there that I use for all sorts of cold smoking and other things. But anyway, just wanted to give you a little quick tour of this. Just a double door electric smoker, but it does a great job for fish. Okay, here they are after they've come out. Beautiful color, deep mahogany. These are just gonna let these rest a little bit. I'm gonna let them cool down, and then I will be putting them into a vacuum seal bag. Each one will be individually wrapped, and they'll be perfect and ready to be on their way. I made these for some friends of mine who love smoked salmon, and always nice when I can oblige. So, as you remember, it's a very simple recipe. The brine was 4 cups of dark brown sugar to 2 cups of coarse kosher salt. I let them sit in the dry brine for 24 hours. Then we put them out to dry to form the pellicle that took about 6 hours to do. You could certainly do it longer if you wanted, or shorter. You need to give it at least 4 hours, I would say, to form a really good pellicle. And then they've been in the smoke for 6 hours. So all in all, it's a wonderful smoke. It's a simple way to create just an amazing gift for people. It's wonderful for parties. It's wonderful for just about everything.
A few shots of the final product, and I want to thank everybody for coming and taking a look at what I had to offer here at Jim's Bar and Pigshack, and I hope to see you all again.